Today, we're jumping into a story that stretches across more than 100 years of American ingenuity. It's all about the absolute thrill of speed, the very soul of car culture, and how it all leads to one single, incredibly ambitious dream. A town built from the ground up just for gearheads.
And this right here, this quote, is the heart and soul of the entire mission. This isn't just about being nostalgic. It's about preservation. It's a promise to keep a certain kind of fire-breathing spirit alive for good. So what exactly is this place they're dreaming up?
Well, it's called POP Town, and that stands for Pioneers of Power. The idea is to create this, self-contained sanctuary, a forever home for a culture that's built on horsepower, on craftsmanship, and on the smell of gasoline.
Okay, so this slide, man, this really paints the picture, doesn't it? We're not just talking about a racetrack, it's a whole world. You've got a track that's open 24/7, a classic 50s car hop, a drive-in movie theater, and look at this detail, small homes with huge garages. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about the priorities here, right? This is a town for people who don't just own cars, they live them.
So a dream this huge, it's gonna need a pretty powerful team to make it a reality. And the foundation of this whole project is this all-star crew, 5 legendary drivers who make a pact to pool all their winnings to build this gearhead utopia. So let's meet them.
All right, first up, leading the charge is Vic Kirby. He's the visionary. Now today, he's a modern F1 team owner, but his roots go way back, deep into the hot rodding scene of the 1940s. The source material describes him as having this quiet, determined, kind of Clint Eastwood presence. He's the anchor holding this whole dream together.
Then you've got Jim Rockford. And yes, I mean that Jim Rockford, played by the one and only James Garner. He's the cool-headed, experienced private investigator type. In a group of these high-octane personalities, he's the steady hand, the guy who brings the strategy.
And of course, you can't have a project this big without some serious charisma. And that is where Burt Reynolds comes in, playing a version of himself. He's the movie star, the successful stock car owner. He's the guy who brings the flash, the media attention, and that undeniable star power.
Now, representing a new generation, but carrying a heavy legacy, is Danica Newman. She's a ridiculously talented and competitive racer, but her motivation, it's deeply personal. She's really driven to honor the memory of her grandfather, who was a racing legend from a totally different era.
And finally, rounding out the team on 2 wheels is Willie White. This guy is a motorcycle racing legend, and he's described as just a pure force of nature. He's that rebellious, untamed spirit of racing, a guy who's lived his life right on the edge, pushing bikes to their absolute limit.
So what brings this wild group together? It's this one shared mission. They make a pact. They're going to compete in 4 huge international races and pool every single penny of their winnings to buy the land and build POP Town. It's this high-stakes deal that drives the whole story. But a dream this specific, it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere.
In this timeline, this is where it all clicks. The vision for POP Town is really the end result of a long family legacy, and it doesn't start on the ground. Believe it or not, it starts way up in the sky. So let's go back to 1912 and see how this all got started.
All right, let's jump in the time machine. We're going back to Templeton, California, 1912. Vic's dad, Steve Kirby, isn't dreaming about racetracks. Nope. He's looking up at the sky, totally captivated by the idea of flight. And he's a man of action, a builder, not just a dreamer.
Now, to really get Steve's mindset, you have to hear about his neighbor, the wonderfully named Professor Cadiddle Hopper. This professor believed he could fly using magnetic ether fields, and this contrast is just perfect. While other people were off exploring these fantastical ideas, Steve Kirby was focused on something real, something tangible, the internal combustion engine.
And here's how he did it. He didn't go to some flight school. He studied the Wright brothers, then he hand-built his own plane called Lil Sister, and, get this, he and his friend Roy even hand-built the engine for it. That right there, that's the hands-on gearhead spirit in its purest form.
And after his first successful flight, this is what he says. It's this really profound moment. He realizes his own victory isn't just his. It was built on the shoulders of every single innovator who came before him. And that idea, honoring the past, is a direct line to the future POP Town.
So let's see how that legacy changes. Let's jump forward about 30 years to the 1940s. Now the family's passion for machines has come down from the air and hit the ground hard. Now it's Steve's son, Vic, and he's tearing up the California dry lake beds.
And this was his ride, Bad Billy.
The source material treats this car less like a machine and more like a character. It's a deep black 1932 Ford with a mysterious past and a soul of its own that just tempts every driver to push things a little further. It's the perfect symbol of that rebellious, untamed spirit of early hot rodding.
And this slide, this lays out the central conflict for the modern-day Vic. He's the owner of a top F1 team, he drives a Tesla Roadster, he's fully embracing the future, but deep down, his heart is still with that raw, gas-powered craftsmanship of the past, symbolized by Bad Billy. POP Town is his attempt to make those two worlds coexist.
This line, which is borrowed from Steve McQueen, just perfectly captures the philosophy that ties all these characters together, from Steve Kirby and his plane to Vic and his hot rod. It's the belief that the only moments that truly matter are the ones where you're pushing the absolute limit.
Which brings us all the way back to the present day, and to the core question that's really at the heart of this entire story. It's a question about legacy, and what we choose to carry forward with us.
And here's the key takeaway. POP Town is not just some random idea. It is a direct response to a lifetime of experience. It's Vic Kirby watching the world change around him and deciding that some things are just too important to be lost to time. The whole project connects his father's very first flight directly to his own need to preserve that original spirit of hands-on invention.
And this quote, which the source attributes to Paul Newman's character, man, it's the emotional core of the whole mission. It's the ultimate statement on why we all need a purpose. For these pioneers, POP Town isn't just a project, it's the dream they have to chase.
And that's where we're going to leave it. The story of POP Town might be a fantasy, but it asks a very real question for every single one of us. As technology accelerates and the world keeps changing, we all have to decide what's worth preserving. What pieces of our culture, our history, and our spirit do we choose to protect and carry with us into the future?